Happy hump day, everyone. Did y'all miss me? It's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I've been on my podcast, and I'm so excited about podcast number 45. Thank you so much for your feedback, telling me who I should invite next for my podcast. I was running out of great people. So thank you so much for your feedback, telling me the podcast that you love, people that you would like to see on the show. And I listened to you, and guess what? Here's one of the guests you recommended, Chef DeeDee, Cooking with a Twist. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Chef DeeDee is a friend, a mother, a daughter, of course,
Yes.
a wife, and a business owner. So, and also she's a fearless female.
Yes,
So today
ma'am.
we're going to talk about the fearless female journey, her journey, and what she has working on, what she's coming up with next, and also some of her challenges. Some of the challenges being all of those people and balancing it
Balancing it all.
and staying recharged.
Yes, ma'am.
She's excited about being recharged. We've been talking about, like, for the last 15 minutes, her upcoming trip. I'm like, I'm all for a vacation.
I am so
I'm
ready.
all for a vacation.
Yes.
How often do you recharge?
So vacations, we try to do at least 1 or 2 a year.
Okay.
This year I was fortunate enough to have 3. Of course, I took my mother, me and all of her daughters, and our daughters took my mother on a Mother's Day cruise.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I have a 7-day, all inclusive, all adults. My husband and I will be staying at a resort in Cancun for 7 days.
Okay.
And then one of my best friends who sells Mary Kay won a cruise. And of course, she's taking me. So that's a free trip.
Come on, look in favor. All right.
That's right.
So when is the free trip?
That is in October. So about
back to
3
back.
weeks after my husband and I come back from Cancun.
So besides traveling, what other ways do you recharge?
I try. It doesn't always work, but I try to take at least a day off a week. And NaKeitha, I don't do housework. I don't do laundry. I don't do anything. I just sit in my bed and I'll, watch TV or read a book or, not think about everything else that I think about any other day.
Mm-hmm.
Business. I mean, of course, I still have to be wife. I still have to be mom sometimes. My kids are grown. But, there's some roles that you just can't get away from.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely business, I have to get away from that, at least one day a week.
One of my favorite ways of recharging is, attending conferences, retreats, and things of that nature.
Yes.
And Monday, both of us had the pleasure
Yes.
of attending the Inner Circle luncheon.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Arisha,
Thank you,
for
Dr. Arisha.
creating this amazing event
Yes.
and bringing so many amazing women together. But not only that, your award recipients, they were so great. Their stories, their truths. I think that was the main thing, their truths. And the fact that you realize that, no matter how famous or wealthy or established a person may appear, everybody has their journey.
Everybody
and struggles
has their
and
journey.
trials and triumphs. So it was just great to just seeing them share their stories and, share their victories, how they overcame those obstacles. So the theme this year for their retreat or that conference was intentional overcomers.
Intentional overcomers.
Intentional overcomers. Overcoming adversity, but being intentional about it, and sharing those stories. So it was really good. That is the way I love to be recharged. And it's funny, that conference was just in the nick of time for me.
For me too. And I really appreciated all the ladies that Dr. Arisha had come in to speak. I appreciated their transparency. I appreciated their vulnerability because it says something about who they are. And then you get a chance to say, you know what, I'm not in this alone. Some of the things that I experience as a wife, as a mother, as a child of God, period, as an entrepreneur, a female Black entrepreneur, some of these things that I experienced, other women have experienced these things, and this is how they overcame it. So thank you for sharing that. It gives you hope. It gives you hope, and it gives you a new sense of yourself, So
It was very good. I mean, just knowing that you can start over as many times as you like.
Mm-hmm.
You
sure
can. Like, every day is a new day. Every day is a new opportunity to do it again. Yesterday may not have worked out the way you wanted it to work out. It didn't go according to plan, but It's always a new day, new week, new month. Just start all over again.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And nothing. Something wrong with not, moving forward, being stuck. Something is wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Procrastination. And don't think that I am not guilty of it. But as long as you get rid of that spirit of procrastination and again, get unstuck. Because sometimes we do. Sometimes we do get stuck, and it's like, okay, let me get out of this space and let me keep it moving. Because if I don't, then I'm not going to complete what God has put in me to complete. He's trusted me on this journey. He's given me these responsibilities. So now I have to trust God, and I have to move. I have to leap. That was another thing that I learned at the conference this weekend. I'm not going to stand still. I have to complete this task that God has given me. And if I don't, then I'm not being obedient. And a lot of that has to do with fear. And I'm like, why am I being fearful? God doesn't give me the spirit, So just do it. God's going to give me the resources. He's going to give me everything that I need. The plan. He's placed this seed in my spirit. Now he's going to allow it to manifest, but faith without works is dead. You got to get to working. Yes. So yes, ma'am.
So how did you start cooking with a twist?
That's funny. So in 2013, and a lot of people do not know this, but in 2013, this was probably about a year after I quit corporate America. I started a Sunday brunch. I only wanted to do Sunday brunch. That's when I came out with the red velvet waffles, the award-winning red velvet waffles. And when I received the space, I started leasing this space. It was huge, nice kitchen. It was just in a really bad area, really, really bad area. But, you don't think about all those things when you're planning something like that. You're just thinking, I'm going to have a line just like the Breakfast Club. I'm going to make this amount of money, every Sunday. But, our plans aren't God's plans. And, I started this Sunday brunch without planning, without going to God and getting his approval. And they had a space next to, I had like a event room that I turned into the Sunday brunch. And it was perfect to do cooking classes. It's something that I've always wanted to do. It's always been a part of the plan. And it was called Simply Delicious Cooking Classes because my catering company is called Delicious Catering. I had gotten all the literature, the sign on the door, all of this. And we ended up shutting down that Sunday brunch after about 45 days. All of that equipment, all of the money spent, yes, all of that went into my garage at my house. You could barely move in there. And I was heartbroken because I felt like I failed. Like this was such a failure, but it was a learning experience for me. And I still held on to doing cooking classes. So I started doing kitchen romance classes in people's homes for couples. And that was
innovation. Work it out. Like I don't have a building, but I'm coming to your house.
I don't have a building, but I'm going to just
and
creative. Exactly. I was like, okay, I felt like I failed at this, but it was still in my spirit. And I'm such a risk taker. I think that's what scares my husband the most about me. So I started doing kitchen romance. It was actually featured on Great Day Houston about 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
When I actually brought the couple there and, had them, the little setup and all the good stuff. So finally found the space that, went in, looked at it, and I'm like, okay, this is it. And I still call it my humble beginnings studio. And after we went in and painted and knocked down walls and got everything situated, we started cooking with a twist. Because every time I explained the concept to people, they were like, oh, like painting with a twist? Oh, like this? And I'm like, you know what? Let me be smart about this. Let me use some wisdom. This is a well-known establishment, Painting with a Twist. Everybody know it's a franchise. So let me see if this name is available. And that's one thing that people do not do, because you have a lot of people out there who still try to use Cooking with a Twist, and it's a legally trademarked name. I took care of that. But I made sure it was available, went to my trademark attorney, and we trademarked the name. And 5 years later, we're still in business.
So between the 45-day closure and the opening of Cooking with a Twist, how long was that? 6 months, a year?
We closed in 2013. We opened in 2013, closed in 2013, and I opened Cooking with a Twist in June of 2015. So we opened with a kids camp in June of 2015. We had another kids camp in July of 2015. We started our first adult cooking class in August of 2015. And we've been rocking and rolling ever since.
And the food is good.
Thank you.
And I'm not just, let me tell you, I'm a repeat offender.
You are.
I am.
Very supportive.
Yes, I'm a repeat offender. And the food is really good because I've been to other cooking classes, and they're nice.
Yes.
You know, not knocking any other cooking classes. You know, have fabulous kitchens and, you know, state of the art. But the food is so good. Like, those recipes, I've never left a class without the recipes saying, you need to cook this. Now, I ain't trying to cook it because, you know, I don't really do a lot of cooking. But saying, like, oh, this banana pudding is so good, or you need to try to make this pasta.
Yes.
Like, the food is really, really good food. And I think what makes Cooking with a Twist great, it's great just for couples nights. It's great for friends. It's great for team building. Mm-hmm. It's great for birthdays. But it's just great for mixing up the menu at home.
Absolutely.
But we always laugh. My mom and I, we always talk. Every household has 10 dishes.
Yeah.
I say 10 dishes that are on constant rotation.
Yes.
It may be 50 recipes or 50 different meals you can make, but every household will have their signature 10 dishes that are in constant rotation. And what I like about Cooking with a Twist, it gives you another thing to mix it up.
Yes.
To break the monotony, to give you something different that you can really make at home. Simple instructions, great prep at work. I mean, you make it so detailed so you can bring Cooking with a Twist home with you.
Exactly. And that's what my concept was, to have approachable meals, not exotic things. I wanted people to be able to come home and use their own creativeness. If they needed to change it up a little bit, that's fine, or just do it exactly the way I developed the recipe, and go home and cook it after a long day at work, and cook meals for their family, you know, that they aren't repeating, like the normal spaghetti or.
Let me tell you, in my house, let me tell you my repeat offenders in my house. Look at our list, y'all. Tacos.
Yes.
The traditional way. That's when JJ make it with ground beef. Jada makes it with chicken. And she used soft shells. He used hard shells. But these are two meals in my house. Okay, these two different days.
Fish tacos the other day for my husband.
Spaghetti, roast. That's my dish. That's my other dish is hot dogs. That's a meal at my house. That's a real meal.
Spaghetti, hot dogs, hamburgers.
Granny does the catfish. Like, everybody have their dishes that they do. Granny do the catfish, and she do the baked wings. JJ do the turkey wings, barbecue. But I mean, it's real slim.
Yes,
it's real slim. And then when we want something fancy, we go out.
And that's it. When people come and they leave, you know, we always email the recipes out. But they're always like, oh my God, I can do this at home, because they see the simplicity of it.
It's very simple.
It's not difficult, and I show you very easy ways. I even showed, we had a gumbo class, and I showed them how to make a roux in less than 30 minutes, a dark roux. And once they got through with that gumbo, they were like, I cannot believe we just did this gumbo with fried fish and a salad in a 3-hour class. So, you know, when you're catering for 200 and 300 people, you find ways to build a good meal and make it last. You have a lot, you know, and you make it stretch, and you're being simple. I can't do all this difficult stuff. Now, of course, if I was doing a dinner party for, you know, 10, 20, 30 people, then of course, you know, and it's the same result. Same result as fixing a gourmet, crazy, you know, meal than a simple meal. It's the same result. 90% of the recipes I've developed for Cooking with a Twist. The other recipes have come from other chef instructors who have been there and just wanted to really introduce something to the cooking class. And once they do that, contractually, we gain ownership of the recipes. And some of those recipes are still, you know, popular, part of our popular classes today. So yeah, with the cooking classes, the catering, the red velvet waffles, and the meal plans, we're pretty busy.
And the camp, yeah.
And the
Summer
kids summer camp. We do more kids classes than we do adult classes.
And that made you change your logo.
It did make me. It made me change my logo. So I have a really good mentor. Her name is Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and we sat down and she was like, "You need to take the wine glass out of the logo because you have kids coming in here. You have more kids than adults." And I said, "You're exactly right." So we took the wine glass out of the logo because all of the adult classes are BYOB. So we did change the logo because of the kids classes.
But that's one thing about being the business owner, being receptive.
Absolutely.
To criticism.
Yes.
That was constructive criticism.
It was.
And it was a valid point. And the majority of your clients are children. Why do we have a wine glass? But some people wouldn't be able to receive that. But that makes a whole lot of sense.
It was good for my brand. It was good for the brand. And when you think of things in the long run, like now we're starting a Cooking with a Twist Kids Club, and we've already started the social media pages, but so that people will know that it's coming. But when we take Cooking with a Twist Kids from the studio to where they can actually do it at home when we send these kids, then I don't want them to see a wine glass in the logo. So you think about it, it was the perfect change for my brand. The perfect change. Their meals are just as approachable as the adult menus. I remember when Carla Hall came to Cooking with a Twist and did 2 cooking classes. When she came, I said, "Carla, she's a really good friend of mine." I said, "Make sure that whatever recipes you're going to do with the participants, they're approachable. It's something that they'll be able to go home and do." And she did, and it was different, but it was very easy.
What are your favorite classes? Not for you, but for your audience. Do people love brunch?
Yeah.
That's the one I'm trying to get to. I haven't been to it. I love brunch.
So we have a lot of different brunch classes. We just did one with seafood and mimosas.
Okay.
The most popular class, and it's so funny, I can do a healthy class and have 6 people register, but the most popular is our Southern class with the fried fish, the fried chicken, the lobster mac and cheese, the collards, and peach cobbler. And then
that would be my favorite.
Yes.
I haven't had that menu, but that was my favorite class.
All of the Cajun, the shrimp po' boys or the Mardi Gras pasta.
The heavy food.
All that. Those are our most popular classes. I did a recipe where we do catfish, and I show people how to make a Appaloosa sauce with shrimp and crab, or corn and crab bisque. And these are all recipes that I've gone out and tasted at restaurants, and I've come back and developed for the cooking classes.
So the development of the recipes for the cooking classes, how many times do you try it before you say, you know what, I'm releasing it to the public? Do you 3 times a charm, 5 times?
NaKeitha, if it works the first time,
really?
I'm writing that recipe down as I go. That's what I had to learn how to do because I wasn't doing it. I'm not a recipe. I'm a Southern girl.
So you cook
you
need.
I just throw it in there.
Different.
That
is different when you can have.
But
when
that's
you have to
how
tell people how to
raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even my grandmother would be like, "Baby, just a little bit of this. Just taste it."
Yeah.
True cooks. It's hard for them to actually use a real recipe because they're tweaking it the whole time.
Yes, that's
so
how I
to
was
really
raised.
be able to write it down clear enough, concise enough to relate it to your audience for them to execute it and be successful. That ain't easy.
It's not because even today, and you can ask my daughter who is who manages Cooking with a Twist, but we'll do the recipes, and as we're prepping, I'm like, okay, we need to change this to this amount, or change this to this amount, So we still tweak it to make sure it's enough because I don't want to what makes me stand out from all other cooking classes is that we serve full course meals. No samples, no little bit of food. I mean, like I said, I'm a Southern girl. I've grown up on lots of food. When my mama cooked, she cooked. My mom, my aunts, it was like you were walking over food. So I've had to kind of train myself, because it's just me and my husband and my daughter, my son. I had to train myself how to cook in small portions.
Cooking 4 instead of 44.
Exactly. And sometimes it still doesn't work. Like I'll cook and I'll just have them pack it up and just take it to your house. They love when I cook in big portions because they can come and get leftovers. Now that my daughter and my sister have moved out of the house and, that kind of thing.
So how do you manage work and home life? and I know your children are older, but I'm speaking now in regards to your husband.
Okay.
Like, how do you balance that?
I think that it's really easy because my husband works full time at a job he's been at for almost 30 years. And he's also a minister of music at our church.
Okay.
So, he has a lot of time where he's not at home. And then with me, it kind of helps me a little bit. But let me tell you something. My husband likes home-cooked meals. He likes to come home to something cooked. He rarely wants to go out. So I try to, if I'm working late, I'll try to cook something real quick or, wrap it up, put it in the oven or the refrigerator. So when he comes home, he can just put it in the microwave. Planning ahead, a little bit. He understands our busy lifestyle. And, it just works for us. When there's some days where I'm working 14 and 16 hours a day, and I'm like, babe, I didn't get a chance to cook. Can you just stop and grab something? Mm-hmm. And he's okay with that. So we have our downtime. Because you don't use that
card often. So when you say that, he knows that, okay, she's really booked and busy. It's not like you're using it every other day. So when you pull that card out, he's like, no problem.
That's exactly
right.
Or
at my house, he'll be like, girl, you use that card every day.
Just like Sunday. I ran a church. I was able to enjoy church service, but I had to go to work. I didn't get a chance to get something to eat. So when he got out of church, he just brought dinner to Cooking with a Twist. We sat down and ate, and then he went home to sleep because he's up early having to be at church at 6 in the morning, and I worked the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So, and I have other great chef instructors and a great staff that allow me to have my time off. So if I'm not catering or if I'm not meal prepping or doing anything like that, then I can go home and enjoy my home. I can enjoy, I do my laundry, but I do have a housekeeper. You find what works for you. I can't keep up with keeping the house clean a lot with my
busy
schedule.
One of the things, it's so funny. One of my best friends, her takeaway from the retreat from Belinda Baker, she did a class on balance with the family, family balance. And her takeaway was she enjoyed being in a clean hotel room. Yeah. She was like, man, it feels so good to be in this bed made. It's so clean, it's so organized. She was like, on my off day, I feel like I'm cleaning all day. Mm-hmm. And then the kids get home and, it's back to like ripping and running. And her takeaway was to hire a maid.
Yes.
Belinda told her, if you don't have time, if you know that your schedule is bam, 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 right?
Yes.
Because she's off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mm-hmm. So if the weekends, if Saturday, Sunday is about the kids, Monday you're using your only day for yourself to clean the house all day. And before you know it, it's 3, it's time to pick up the kids. And then Tuesday you have to go back to work.
Yes.
She's like, why are you doing that? You need to hire a maid.
You
need to hire a maid. And she says that has been her best investment. She said because the money that she pays the maid doesn't equal the time that she has.
Yes.
Because her problem was not lack of money, was lack of time. Not having enough time to do anything. Mm-hmm. And even me, I remember being on maternity leave with Jeremy, and I was off work for 6 weeks. And around week number 2, I went to the salon. And my mom said, why are you here? I said, I just want to come to work and do one person so I can pay the maid. And my mama said, you at home, you can clean up. I said, I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
She does a good job.
Yeah.
She does it in a timely manner. Mm-hmm. I just want to do my one client. That's what I'm good at. Mm-hmm. Let me do this one lady in an hour and a half, 2 hours, and let this lady come clean this house at 6. Yeah. So it's nothing wrong. Why are we apologizing for having maids? And we do that because our moms didn't have maids, our grandmothers didn't have maids, and they managed to do everything. But we didn't have to do it. Mm-mm. New times, innovation. Why?
That's right.
Yeah, but people do. You feel like, oh, I got a maid. No, I got a maid.
I got a maid.
And I'm happy about it. She's in the budget. We're going to figure this thing out because that's what she's good at. Let her be proficient in her job and let me do what I'm good at. And one thing about being a business owner, even getting back to the work, when you're at work, we can't do everything. The dentist is not trying to answer the phone. No. The dentist is not trying to schedule appointments. He's in the back focusing on teeth, root canals, extractions. He's not trying to do everything. And so I heard you say that you have an amazing team.
I do.
Did it take you time to relinquish some of the work? Was it easy for you to do? Because a lot of times with business owners, it's hard to give your baby, and I don't mean give it away, but give some of your work to other people because you're like, wait a minute, my name is affiliated with this, my name is on it.
Especially when you're a control freak like I am.
And so, you know what I mean? How was that? Share that, because there's a lot of people who struggle with that.
Yes.
And they need to hear the value in embracing a team, equipping your team to lead when you're away.
So first and foremost, you cannot build an empire by yourself. You cannot do it. You have to have people that you can trust and depend on to help you build this business, to help you run this business. You are not there. You cannot be there physically, emotionally, spiritually. You can't be there 24 hours a day. You can't do it. If you can't trust people to help you, then you're going to burn out, for one. Mm-hmm. Your mental health will suffer, and you're going to fail. It's just not going to run properly. Now, I'm thankful to have, a few people, especially my daughter, who are there to help me. Now, don't get me wrong. I have a lot. Sometimes you hire people, they work a couple of weeks, and then they're gone. And every business experiences,
turnover.
Some kind of turnover. But I've had some that have been with me since day one, and I know that I can trust them. When I go out of town, when I take my mom on a cruise for Mother's Day, or when I go on a 7-day vacation with my husband, Cooking with a Twist doesn't stop. People are registering for classes. When they get there, they expect to see somebody instructing those classes, a chef instructor, a chef assistant, a dishwasher. All of those people have to be there to make sure that those classes are running properly. Even with my catering, I do all the cooking for my catering. Now, say that I have a catering event on Saturday and I'm leaving on Friday for something. Then I know that my catering manager, which is my daughter, is going to make sure that all the food is heated properly to where it was just like it was cooked that day, fresh, and the setup is going to be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to worry about that. She's been doing it since she was knee-high to a grasshopper, so she knows me. She can set up better than I can, I'm not a huge, my presentation is wonderful, but I'm not immaculate. Mm-hmm. That's not what my catering.
She has a knack for that.
She has a knack for that. So you have to be able to find people who are going to care about your brand just as much as you do. Maybe not be as passionate about it because that's yours, that's mm-hmm. your brand, but at least put in the effort to make sure that each person that experiences Cooking with a Twist or Delicious Catering or any of the businesses has a great experience. Mm-hmm. I've been blessed to have that. And I have to understand that I can't do it all. I've got to release. I've got to trust. Now, do I go on my phone and look at the cameras and see how the classes are going? To see how the dishwasher's doing, to see if am I calling a few times? Yeah, maybe, I hadn't gotten that far. Now, we plan to franchise. That means that somebody else is going to be carrying my brand. Am I going to freak out? I can't. I can give you the tools. I can provide the training. But they're responsible for running that franchise under the Cooking with a Twist brand mm-hmm. properly. They're still representing my brand. So those things are things that you cannot hold on to. You just got to trust God and let it happen.
No, that's good stuff because people need to hear that. I think that's one of the hardest things for small business owners.
Yes.
We start off and we're the backbone of the business. Yes. We're the front person for the business. We're everybody for the business, right?
Yes.
And then we start to grow and we realize that we need help. But even though we realize we need help, it's hard to release it.
It's hard to release.
It's hard to release.
Because that's your baby.
Are they going to do it right? Are they going to do it good? And you'll be surprised. Some people do it better than you.
Exactly.
They will do some things better than you. They'll be more proficient in some things. They'll be more efficient in some areas. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's still your baby.
It's still your baby.
But I think that's the hardest thing, being willing to release it, Yes. But once you release it and once you are willing to cultivate them, mm-hmm. if they don't do it right initially, let's do it this way. How about this? Give them some opportunities to try again. Mm-hmm. Because really, you didn't learn it in a day. You really didn't. And it feels like you've been doing it so long. But even when I think about myself, when I'm training people in the salon, I think about it. I wasn't this person 15 years ago. I wasn't this seasoned. You know, it takes time to become seasoned. So just giving people patience and little grace. I always
And
call
you're
it grace.
constantly growing. You're never. We're constantly growing. We're constantly changing to make things better. You know, you're not stagnant. We're still growing. You know, and your staff, the people who are there with you, and they see your struggles. They see the challenges that you have to overcome. I think that's my favorite word that describes myself as an overcomer, because people see all the glitz and the glamour and the glory and the full classes, but they don't realize I just had to cancel a class, a couple of weeks ago because of low enrollment, and I got a bad review because this lady and this man who was actually registered for this class had gotten a babysitter and they were ready for the cooking class, and I'm thinking about that. And I had to really go into prayer about that, because you think about, does this make sense financially? But then does it make sense to the people who have, paid to support you and have this experience? You only have 4 people, so am I going to bring in a chef instructor and a dishwasher
and assistant
for 4 people?
Right.
So I'm still, and it's happened to me. I've gone out of town and wanted to experience other cooking classes, and they canceled on me because it was just a few of us. And it's all a part of business, but I really think, like the next Saturday, this lady called and she was like, okay, I see, the registrations are low. We just want to make sure the class is going to go on because we're celebrating my friend's birthday, and this is just one of the stops. We have so much planned for her. It's a surprise. And you think about that and you're like, but what if I cancel this class? Mm-hmm. How is it going to affect this day for this group of girls who's celebrating this birthday? Mm-hmm. So I did the class for 4 people. I didn't do it. My chef instructor did it. And, our instructors get paid off commission. So that wasn't a big class for her. But she was willing to go in and do that class, and those people had a good time. So I'm thinking maybe that won't be something that I do in the future. But, I'm still, it's business, so you're still kind of juggling that kind of thing.
You're figuring it out.
It's still figuring it out.
Along
but
the
it's
way.
all a part of the business, all a part of the things that you have to deal with, you have to think about. People don't see that. They don't see, you submitting proposals for catering and you're not chosen, and that your reputation exceeds you. You know that you're good. You know that, you're going to provide the best catering experience. So how are you telling me my prices are too high? You know what I can do. So you have to deal with all of that, because as an entrepreneur, and we were talking about seasons, we all have seasons of low seasons. We all have those peak seasons. And as an entrepreneur, you have to take all of those things into consideration. When you send out their proposal, you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be income that's going to handle this, this, and this. But then when it comes back and it's a reject, then you have to move on to the next. Mm-hmm. You have to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And that's just, what I say, that's a boss situation. And you got to handle it.
It can be an emotional roller coaster.
It is an emotional roller coaster.
It can be an emotional roller coaster because as a business owner, because it is your baby, you take a lot of things to heart.
You do.
So things that shouldn't be taken to heart, we do take to heart.
Oh, my gosh.
And you try to shake it off and it get right back on you. You know what I mean?
And you get in your feelings.
You do. And one thing we know the power of one. I think that's what it is. Yeah. You understand the power of one. Mm-hmm. Just like one person can speak so highly of you and tell a friend and tell another friend, and mm-hmm. Same way somebody can talk negative, negatively over your business.
You're right.
And how it can be a rippling effect. So you don't want to dramatize it, but you don't want to minimize it either,
Exactly.
But thank you so much for coming, sharing.
I'm
NaKeitha Ross. Oh, you'll see me again. I'll see you again.
Absolutely.
I'm NaKeitha Ross. This is DeeDee, Chef DeeDee, cooking with a twist. And I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.